We begin with a major new development in the war in Gaza. Israeli ground forces are now pushing deeper into a new territory in their search for Hamas fighters. Their troops and tanks are expanding into a central region for the first time during the 21 months of this conflict. The Israeli military is dropping leaflets from the sky ordering local Palestinian populations to evacuate. CBC senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik is tracking the developments for us today from Jerusalem. Sasha, it seems that ceasefire talk is all but at a standstill. So let's talk about the significance of this new maneuver by the Israeli military.
Well, Natasha, the Israeli military controls about 70% of Gaza. This is one area that they have not moved into in any great way since the very beginning, 21 months ago. And it is significant for a couple of reasons. First of all, a lot of the international organizations are based in this area. This is going to be a problem for them if there is suddenly a major ground offensive happening in this area. It's Deir al-Balah, which is about central Gaza over toward the coast. The second reason, though, why this is significant is that the Israeli military believes this is where some or many of the remaining hostages that are being held by Hamas are being kept. There's 20 of them who are believed to be alive, and so far the Israeli military has kept out of this area partly because they didn't want to risk hurting or killing those hostages. Now, for whatever reason, they've decided that's the direction that they're going to go in. It is going to be a risk, and it is going to be filling in, I guess, one of the few areas that they have not been in. But it has scared the relatives and the supporters of these hostages who have been pushing Saturday night after Saturday night to try to get the government to come up with a deal and one that would release the remaining hostages. That doesn't seem to be on the horizon. And now they got worse news, in a way, for many of them, that these hostages may well be in even greater danger. Yesterday, they had a protest in front of the U.S. Embassy in Tel Aviv, and they had a message for really who the only group that they feel is listening to them or perhaps could help them, which is the U.S. government, a message directly for U.S. President Donald Trump.
Mr. President, sir, we are counting on you. You brought hostages home before. Please do it again. We need you. We need your leadership. We are begging you. Help us. Bring our children home now.
These families are now saying they are anxious and shaken by the prospect of the hostages being in even greater danger. They are going to push even harder. Natasha?
Sasha, in the meantime, there's still reports coming out of dozens of Palestinians being killed as they're trying to access food supplies at aid hubs in Gaza. So let's talk about that, because this has been an ongoing story of chaos and death at various aid hubs as food is being distributed. What are you seeing on that part of the story?
Well, Natasha, this is turning into one of the deadliest days, as far as that is concerned, that we have seen in the last 6 weeks, when all of this started to really ramp up. We are hearing from the Hamas Health Ministry, as well as doctors, as well as eyewitnesses in Gaza, that today at least 73 people have been killed. Many of them, were told, by being shot by the Israeli military. And in particular, there was one scene up near the border, with the northern border between Gaza and Israel, near a crossing called Zikim. And there, we're told, 67 people were killed today as they gathered to try to get food. Apparently, there was a convoy of trucks being brought in by the World Health Organization, 25 trucks. And as soon as they came into Gaza, apparently, the Israeli military opened fire on the people who were gathered there, presumably waiting for this aid to be brought in, even though it was not supposed to be distributed there. So it is a confusing situation, a horrible one, with a lot of people being killed. This is the way that one of the people who was there described it.
جينا هنا من باب انه صح لنا ناخذ مساعدات مثلنا مثل الناس، لكن اللي بصير انه هنا في مذبحه دمويه بتصير كل يوم، وكل لحظه بيقولوا دخول مساعدات بتصير مذبحه دمويه، كأننا بنعيش في العصور الوسطى الظلام. لا هذا عصر دم، احنا الان بنطالب حقن دم الشعب الفلسطيني وادخال المساعدات بشكل محترم. في هناك شهداء كثيره.
Now, the Israeli military is saying that they acknowledge that there was shooting, that people were hit. They question whether it was quite as high as 67 people, but they say they are investigating, as they have in most of these cases. They say that the crowd was threatening to the soldiers and that they had to open fire, which is what we also heard about a situation yesterday when 36 people were killed, again, according to the health ministry and to the hospitals there in the south. Very similar situation, except this time it was around one of these distribution sites that are run by the U.S. and Israeli-backed organization called the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. Controversial group because most of the deaths that have happened in the past 6 weeks at these aid distribution sites have happened close to the sites where this group has been handing out food. They dispute that, but that is what the UN is saying. They're saying that more than 600 people have died in the last 6 weeks around these aid distribution sites. So very controversial site and one that doesn't seem to be getting any better.
Senior correspondent Sasha Petrusik in Jerusalem. Thank you so much, Sasha.